Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Business Besties Live. I am joined by my business bestie, Kara Williams. How you doing, my friend?
So good. How are you, friend?
Good, very good. Excited to connect with you guys today on this episode of Business Besties. It's going to be a little different. Typically, Kara and I come on here to talk to you guys about business and truth of building businesses as entrepreneurs. Let you introduce yourself, tell them who you are and a little bit about what you do. And then I will as well. And we'll get this party started because we have a retreat recap that we're really excited to share with you guys today. So Kara, kick it off.
Yeah. So I'm Kara Williams. I've been an entrepreneur now for over 16 years, done a little bit of everything. And I actually help entrepreneurs get their ideas out of their brains and live links where they can start selling and automating and running their business. So I've been partnered with Mindy now for a couple years. We've been business besties. We used to solve all the world's business problems on our phones in the mornings while we were getting dressed. And we decided to just partner up and turn the camera on.
Yeah. So she takes her 15 or now is it 16 years of experience? 16? Yeah. Years of experience as an entrepreneur. I've been full-time social selling since 2018. So I actually quit my full-time job back then to sell online. I partnered with a company, had a lot of fun, made a lot of money, made a huge impact. And I've seen the good, the bad, and the crazy of all of what we do. And so, like I said, or like Kara said, we just come here and we bring it to you live. Sometimes we do trainings. Sometimes we just kind of riff and get into just some thought and mindset around entrepreneurship and things that are working, things that are not working. So definitely, if wherever you're watching this from, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, and you'll see us live or sometimes pre-recorded here just to share with you guys really what's going on in the business world and building as entrepreneurs. So today, though, we want to just give you guys a recap of the retreat that we hosted. God laid it on our hearts a while back to actually launch a mastermind together. We started with a boot camp that turned into a mastermind and turned into Business Besties Live and now this retreat. And we just got back from a few beautiful days in Mentone, Alabama, close to Kara's home. And we just want to share with you guys kind of the experience, talking a little bit about, putting on this retreat. Like it's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of work to be done there, but also just the importance of gathering and community and some of the takeaways. So Kara, what do you want to share with these guys today on coming off this retreat? It was really incredible.
Most of you, if you've been following us for a while, Mindy and I are both believers in the Lord. And I think the biggest thing that I personally saw in this retreat was I tend to overplan things. I tend to want all the little details. And if you were at the retreat, there were lots of little details. We took the ladies on a fun little outing. And we even had little printables to make it super extra special. Gifts that were tied to what we were doing over the weekend and all the little things. And I tend to overplan. And I got really sick right before the retreat. And the Lord was really sick. I'm just now getting over it. And it was like the Lord said, I'm not letting you overplan. I want you to go and just be the hands and feet. And I want you to go serve and love on these ladies that I'm sending your way. And so for me, it was really relinquishing all of the control and being fully present and building relationships, which is exactly what we needed to be doing. So I think, for me, that's what I kind of took away from it was a reminder that when we're not in control, God ultimately is. And all of the details were fabulous. And I think the weekend was incredible.
It all came together just as it was supposed to. I want to talk to those of you that are maybe planning retreats or those of you looking to attend. I think the coolest part about what I will just say God did in all of this, the retreat name was Refresh, Refocus Retreat. And it was a place for entrepreneurs, mothers, wives, right? We're so busy and so caught up in the day to day and always going and flowing and going kind of crazy sometimes because it's kids' schedules and we're trying to get stuff. It's just nuts. And in business too, we had the opportunity to provide these ladies with a place to get away. And we started off the retreat and just letting them know, if you want to sleep in, sleep in. If you want to just close your door to your room and just kind of sneak away and get some work done, if this is what you came for, whatever it was that you wanted to accomplish here, we wanted you to accomplish it. And for the most part, you know what it really was? It was community. It was conversations. It was connections and collaborations. And there's some collaborations. Man, I say this often. Some of you are just one collaboration away from changing the trajectory of your life, of your business. Truly, right, Kara? And to see some of those collaborations happen, I was just like, oh God, only you. you know?
Yep. Yeah. Cause we didn't know like who was going to end up in that room, like who would be in that place. And we even had kind of the guest list changed up until
Yeah.
the week before. And I look back and I all the little conversations that I saw happening in the little corners or outside, or it was so neat to watch, and people that otherwise would have never met.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool. And so that said, we're already in the planning stages for next year. So I want to just plug this real quick and we can continue on. But if you're not on our email list yet, you want to be on our email list. Kara, can you tell them how to get like our roadmap? We've got a really great little freebie roadmap.
Yeah.
For them to get
Just
on our email list. Yeah.
Yeah, just comment roadmap and we will get you the link. Also, if you're watching this, whether it on YouTube, you'll actually see in the description the link you can click to go download the roadmap and get on our email list. If you're listening to this on podcast, same thing. The link will be in the description. If you're on social media listening to this, just drop the word roadmap and we'll get you the link.
Yeah. So then you can be up to speed because again, the planning has already begun for the next one. The ladies, as they were leaving, were excited about the next retreat. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like it came so fast too. It was so fast. It's hard to believe how quick the time is flying. But again, I want to just tell you guys, watching what God was doing in each one of their businesses and each one of their lives, it was very different. We had one lady who was a business owner, very successful. She's been in business for over 27 years. We had some ladies that were just kind of getting started and getting going.
We had some ladies that were starting over.
Yeah.
You know, we had one whose husband had just retired and he was like, hey, I don't think I'm really done. So let's do something new. And so, I mean, just so many different spaces and just where they were in their businesses or not starting yet, but ideas. And it was so neat to listen, and such a diverse group of women.
Yeah.
But who all love the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. It's one of those things where it's really hard to explain. You really have to experience it and put yourself in those places, in those spaces. And I know for some people, they get intimidated or they get, it's kind of their, what's the word that I'm not? Introverted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talk to those ladies, Kara, that like would like to, they think like in their brain, like, oh, I'd love to do that. And then all of a sudden that sets in because they're an introvert and they want to climb into their little hermit crab shell. Like, talk to those ladies about the importance of being in those rooms.
Yeah. So I had somebody a while back because I travel quite a bit and go to different conferences and things like that. And I am an extroverted introvert. I'm kind of undercover. I'm an ambivert is what a lot of people say. If I'm in a, room with people I know and am comfortable with, I'm outgoing and can be the life of the party. But if I'm put in a room with people that I don't know, I tend to want to just go get on my phone or take a nap or call my family or, really just go inward. And somebody said, well, Kara, how do you like go stay in hotel rooms with people that you've never met? And I'm like, it's a discipline. It's part of owning a business. It's part of realizing that your network is your net worth and that you've got to put yourself in those rooms if you want to expand. Like we had some ladies this weekend that were talking about, my social media posts aren't really doing great. Well, what can we do to build your network to get more eyeballs? Those kind of things all start happening in those rooms, whether it's, getting on podcast or speaking engagements or teaming up with someone else to do a collab with their audience. Those are ways that your business is going to grow by leaps and bounds instead of one little piece of content at a time.
Yeah, that's
right.
so true.
So, I mean, you can do it the other way. You can stay in your hermit crab and stay home and, not meet the people. But I can tell you're going to go further faster when you link arms with the right people.
That's so true. And, a couple thoughts on that. It makes me think that first off, I love not being the smartest person in the room. Like collectively, the wisdom that was shared between these women, like there's nobody that knows all of that. Like, so to have all these ladies give their feedback and their thoughts and their whatever, but it also makes me think too, there's a lot of the ladies like, well, I have my Facebook group and I go live in there and and I see them playing small and I like to speak the truth in love and I just do it. Talk to them we were talking about social media, building content, doing all of that. We talked about that. We did some mini trainings as well. Anyway, I sat down with the ladies. I said, you guys, it's entirely up to you to cast little fishing poles into little ponds and maybe catch one or two little minnows, which is what you're doing when you're like going live in your Facebook group of 52 people because nobody sees it and you're just totally playing it safe. Or what I've done since 2018, my personal profile is my business. I go live. Well, it's been a while, but I'll go live on there. I'll post all my content on there. If I am sharing something of value, whether it be product or business or encouragement or whatever, it's all on my Facebook public profile. That is like casting a wide net into the ocean. Do you know what I mean? So like we have kind of conversations like that. And my hope and prayer is again, that I've helped these ladies to bust through some of the limiting beliefs and some of the kind of playing it small, because, if you want to be making money, you're 52 or 57 people in your private Facebook community that don't engage with anything that you do because they never see it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's for a whole nother training, but that's kind of some of the conversations that we have. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking to that, so this retreat was very different than a lot of other retreats. It was not super scheduled. We did tell the ladies on Saturday they might want to put a bra on and really get dressed because we had a fun little outing and then we had pictures that afternoon. But we weren't overscheduled. We had, this is the time we'll have breakfast out. Then we're going to have, a mini training, 30 minutes or so. And then free time. You can go implement something that you've learned. You can go take a nap. You can go work. You can go take a walk, whatever you want to do. And it was very much not overly scheduled because we wanted you to be able to have the conversations, have the margin to see what do I need and then go get that thing that you need.
Excited to be planning the next one.
Yes. And if you know that you want a spot at the next one, all you have to do is comment retreat below. And we already have it set up so that you can put down your deposit. And as soon as the house and location and all things are picked out, it's going to be August the 5th through the 8th next year.
Yeah, write that
but
down.
We don't have the
August
location yet.
Yeah.
August 5th through the 8th. We don't have the location yet. We're going to kind of wait and see how many people we have that go ahead and put their deposits down. So we make sure we get a big enough house, but it is still going to stay small. So 12 to 16, I think is max for us. And that way we can keep that intimate setting and everyone can still have those conversations. And Mindy and I did do some hot seats after dinner each night. So we did a little training each day and then we did some hot seats. So we made sure that all the ladies got all their questions answered, but we also wanted them to also be able to ask the other attendees their questions because like Mindy said, we're not smartest ones in the room. And there are people who have done this for 27 years. There's people who have just expertise and experience that Mindy and I don't have. And so we wanted them to have the flexibility to everybody understand what each person does and then partner up and like, hey, can I ask you this question? Can I ask you this question? And just share that knowledge in that way.
So just comment the word retreat. Any questions, reach out to us. Our social channels should be dropped below as well. But literally, God just kind of took a hold of things as he would. And it all just really flowed beautifully. And people left with some special little gifts and some paintings. And it was just so fun. It was awesome.
So I was in scripture this morning and it took me to Daniel 6. And it was all about when Daniel gets put in the lion's den because he is praying openly in front of windows to his God 3 times a day, and that's against the law. And how God controlled that whole situation, and how he was bold enough that he says, I literally went and opened my window and I prayed in front of the window knowing that this is not something I'm legally able to do. And I'm just a believer that if we are standing up for the Lord, we're not going to miss something because we are professing his name. Like we have to be bold in our faith. And so it was so neat because that whole Daniel 6 was all about who is ultimately in control. And then as believers, how we boldly walk in that. And so I walked away from this weekend. We had lots of, well, why isn't my social media growing? Why haven't I made a sale here? Why? And listen, like we are not in control. We do the best we can, but ultimately God is in control. And so, just a reminder, it was just such a good weekend to remember that while we planned best we could, he had other plans and it all worked out beautifully.
Love it. Well, friends, we will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place for another episode of Business Besties Live. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, the follow button, or whatever you need to hit here so you can be notified when we are live again. And until then, take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time.